Last episode, I promised y'all a proper introduction, and today I'm here to deliver. So, if you've been wondering who this voice belongs to, why I started Rooted in Politics, and a few random facts you definitely didn't ask for, keep listening. Hey y'all, welcome back to Rooted in Politics, where we make politics personal and relevant for all. I'm Chris Fluellen, and I'm so glad you're here. Now, if you remember from last episode or just my introduction for this episode, I told y'all that I wanted to save my formal introduction for a separate episode, which is today. And that's because I think if we're going to build a true community here, I think that starts with having trust in me and credibility, knowing who I am, and more importantly, why I care so much about all this. So similar to last episode, I don't want this to be anything too long. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So you've already heard it before, but again, I'm Chris Fluellen, and I wanted to say that again because my actual first name is Kristen. So you're definitely going to see them both, and feel free to use them interchangeably. I think at this point I'm more used to Chris, and it's what I go by more, but I don't mind either. And it kind of also explains that little like joke I have in my Instagram bio. I'm not going to sit here and explain it. If you see it, you see it, and yeah, I hope that adds context for that. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, specifically the East Side. Born and raised, lived there for most of my life, went to school there my entire life, with the exception of college, which we'll get into. And yeah, I'm just super proud to be from the city. It's truly a city of resilience and grit. And like, I don't know, you really just have to, I don't think you have to be from there to love it, but I think the people that are from there just have a love for it that is unexplainable. And I feel like everyone from Detroit is super humble. So hopefully y'all get that from me too. As for my educational background, particularly my collegiate education, I am a rising senior, which is insane to say, a rising senior journalism major at Hampton University, which is an HBCU. If you've never heard of the term HBCU, it stands for Historically Black College or University. And don't worry, we're definitely going to have episodes on that in the future and why they're so important and their history. But to talk a little bit more about why I decided to major in journalism, my senior year of high school, I honestly just had no idea what I wanted to major in. And I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'll do like theater with like a more practical minor, like something in math or business. But ultimately I decided like I don't think I'm passionate enough about acting to go that route. And yeah, so I was still just kind of lost. I sat there and I thought about, okay, what do I like to do? What am I good at? And writing immediately came to mind. And I was like, okay, I'll do communications or journalism because a lot of programs across the country just kind of have them under one branch. So that's how I ended up at Hampton. I also knew that I wanted to go to an HBCU. So I looked at the HBCUs that had the best journalism/communications programs and applied to those. And Hampton just had the best financial offer. It was decently close to home. And yeah, I'm very happy with my decision and I wouldn't choose differently. So I am going to talk a little bit more about myself, but I'm going to save the fun facts for the end of the episode. So now we'll jump into why I decided to create Rooted in Politics. So I feel like kind of predictably, one of my main reasons was the 2024 election. Since my freshman year, I have been interested in starting a political podcast because I love to talk and I love to talk about politics, but I never really had like a super clear strategy or motivation to get started and figure it out. So the passion was always there, but the motivation piece wasn't. So I just like went a year or two with it in the back of my mind. Then in 2024, when Kamala Harris entered the race to run against Trump, I knew that no matter the election outcome, the trajectory of our country would change forever, and that I wanted to be and needed to be a part of that process, documenting how things unfold and also holding the president accountable no matter the party. Then, we know what happened. And I was honestly like devastated, obviously, because of the future for our country and how people will be treated, but also just scared to start because I knew that his regime would target people and journalists who spoke out, disapproved, or even just told the truth and the facts about what was going on. So again, I sat on the idea longer and was like, I don't know if this is worth like my safety, worth my mental health, or worth any other potential adverse effects that will come with it. However, like I use that fear as fuel because that's exactly how things get swept under the rug and they want people to be scared to speak out and scared to tell the truth. So I decided that wouldn't be me because I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I do run off spite. Obviously, the truth is important and informing people and uplifting people is important, but spite is a little bit a part of that. I can't lie. So I decided I wouldn't be one of those people that was held back by fear. And here I am. So, my second main reason is because, like I said in the previous episode, I truly believe that some people have no clue what's going on in politics or how our governments work. And I believe that no matter your party or your political beliefs, you deserve to have access to education regarding how our government works and digestible news about what they're doing and how it impacts you. And part of that is because, political literacy should just be a basic skill for all human beings, but also because I think that the better we are educated as a collective about politics, I think that will result in better decisions for the collective moving forward and interpret that as you will. So, the last and final point I'll talk about is relatability. Like I mentioned in my last episode, I don't know everything. I'm not here to pretend I do or hide the fact that I don't. So, your question may then be, why should we listen to you? You're not an expert, you're still a student. There are so many other podcasters, content creators, journalists that have more experience than you do. And I get it, that's a valid question. And I'm so glad you asked. And even if you didn't, I'm going to tell you the answer to that question anyways, because my talking points rely on you having asked. So, firstly, is I care deeply about what's happening in our world and more importantly, to the people in it. And it's all intertwined with politics in one way or another, whether people know it or not. And if they don't, I want to be here to tell them that everything is rooted in politics. You'll hear it again later, but shameless plug there. And though I don't have all the answers, I do have passion, research skills, and communication skills to at least begin to understand and communicate what's happening in our government in a way that, you won't feel babied or talked down to. And I think a part of the reason I really want to emphasize that is because I think this political space that we're in can feel oversaturated and full of people who believe that their beliefs are gospel and shame other people for not knowing enough. And I'm here to not add to that and again, be a community where people don't feel shamed or judged for wanting to learn. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely have opinions and I will always stay true to my opinions and values and beliefs and be transparent about them. But I still want this space to be a breath of fresh air where we can talk about things we don't know, ask questions, and still figure things out together. And lastly, before I wrap up this section of the episode, I want y'all to know that I am committed to relying on experts and credible sources for the information that I share. Integrity is one of our values, and it's so, so important that I'm getting my information from sources that aren't known to lie and also sharing those sources with y'all so y'all can do your own research and own fact checking. But at the end of the day, I'm really just here to show that political literacy isn't only for, people of a certain occupation, age, or educational background, but it is for everyone, regardless of all of that. And I want to show that if I can dig into these complicated topics and make sense of them, then you can too, because that's what community is all about. So before we jump into the fun facts part of the episode and wrap up, I do want to give you guys a few takeaways to walk away with. Number one is that I want to approach this platform in a way that's not actively trying to change anybody's mind, but rather give you facts, context, and perspectives to challenge what your beliefs are and inform you on what you may not know. And that's mainly for two reasons. Number one is I will literally drive myself insane. I am a super, fact-based person. Of course, I'm empathetic, but y'all, I used to be a policy debater. And anytime I get into it with my people personally about something that is Googleable, it will be Googled. Ask anybody I know, trust. So again, I drive myself crazy if I want to change everybody's mind, especially based on, facts and literacy. But also the more important reason is if I simply wanted to change people's minds and make them believe what I believe, then this will be being done for selfish reasons. And that's not what I'm here to do. The goal is not uniformity in belief, but ultimately a more informed world that will hopefully lead people to make better decisions politically for a more just, equal, loving world. And secondly is I know I preach about community and about this being a safe space for people to learn and grow, but I do want to be extremely clear and set a boundary so people understand what this is and what this ain't. This is a safe space, of course, for everyone, regardless of, race, ethnicities, religions, gender, sexual identity, all of it. Everyone is welcome to find community with other people who are also interested in being more politically informed and or engaged. So with that in mind, I do want to set another clear boundary. This is not a safe space for bigotry or bigots of any kind. So if you hate people for any of the reasons I listed above, any aspects of their identity, this is not the safe space for you. And I understand that people disagree with certain people for various reasons. I don't understand that part exactly. I am team mind your business. But again, not here to tell anybody what to do or how to think or, change your mind. But we will not allow space for disrespect or the dehumanization of other people based on any aspect of their identity. So if you don't think you can abide by those rules and be respectful of other people, even if you disagree with them, thank you for listening. And I hope you can come back when you get that together and stop hating people based on who they are. So now that the important stuff is out the way, before I sign off, I did promise to share more about me. So I'm going to give y'all 3 rapid fire fun facts. Number 1 is this is already on the website, but I want to share it anyways, is that I'm a huge roller coaster nerd. And I literally have a Notion tracker. Shout out Notion. Would love to be sponsored by them one day. They have truly saved my life. But I have a literal Notion tracker where I track every roller coaster I've been on, facts about it, and how much I enjoyed said roller coaster. And if you think I'm lying, I will send you a screenshot. Fun fact number 2 is I absolutely love animals. I'm not gonna lie, I can't get behind bugs or creepy crawlies or a lot of invertebrates, but I love the girlies with the backbones. And my favorite animals are obviously dogs. I feel like if you are not a dog lover, you are an evil human being. But also I love penguins. They are so cute. Also love dolphins, cheetahs, and kangaroos, which is a new favorite. I think they're also very cute. And I don't know. I think they're funny. And the last fun fact that I'll share also on my website is that I love music, but we're going to get a little more specific here. I will literally listen to anything if I think it sounds good, including country, rock, music in other languages, instrumentals, classical jazz. Listen, if I like how it sounds, it's going in my AirPod Maxes, okay? But my top 3 of all time, which I'm so glad I finally get to share this publicly to people who probably don't care, but I'm going to say it anyways, are The Weeknd, Beyonce, and Kendrick Lamar. And in all honesty, they're mostly interchangeable depending on the era and who's the most active at that moment. But if I had to choose, actually, no, The Weeknd is my consistent number 1. And obviously, that's not me saying that The Weeknd is leagues miles ahead of Beyonce and Kendrick. I think they're all equally brilliant and all excel in their own different ways. But yeah, he just has a special place in my heart, to be honest. But Beyonce and Kendrick, like that 2 and 3 spot really does switch, again, depending on the era. All right, y'all, that is it for episode 2 of Rooted in Politics. And thank y'all so much for listening and wanting to learn more about me and, more importantly, why I decided to create this podcast and community. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you leave a rating or review to help others discover the show. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, no matter where you're listening. Stay connected by following us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Rooted in Politics, and on Twitter and YouTube at Root in Politics, no ED. We also have an official website at rootedinpolitics.com if you want to check us out there. Remember, everything we experience is rooted in politics, and every voice has power. Until next time, y'all, stay rooted.